layout for the CTTE machine is as shown. The EYF, which is the positive yarn feed, usually stays on the left-hand side of the CTTE. The CTTE machine, here we show it with the draw ratio attachment. And here is the tension box, which is responsible for measuring the tension on the yarn as it's elongated. This is the input roll. This is the output roll. Depending on your test, the speed of these two rolls will change. For example, if you're running a draw ratio test, the input roll will be running at constant speed, and the output roll will be running at increasing speeds to draw the yarn and measure the tension at the same time. This is the aspirator to pick up the yarn and to be able to. And these are your controls to stop the machine, or if there is an emergency stop that's needed, then you can press on this emergency stop. That will take away the power from the entire machine. And for you to be able to turn on the machine again, you need to twist the red button in the shown direction, and that will bring up this power to the CTTE. The run button, jog button are only available once you have the program, one of the programs up and running, because the programs provide a stop motion to the machine. Air can come on and off, pick up the yarn for the aspirator, and this is the air adjust to be able to pick up the yarn. This area is basically related to the elongation tests and the coefficient of friction tests. It's protected under a cover, only to be used during these programs, which we'll cover later on. On the tensiometer box, there are a couple of different parts. This is the tension head and tension head pulley, which is responsible for measuring the tension actively during the test. And there is an optical sensor here for the yarn. So during the test, when the yarn breaks, this light will come on and it will stop the machine. Make sure there is no dirt or smudges that are happening on this window. You need to keep this area clean and free of fingerprints. This is the active tension data display. So when there is tension, you will see the number on the display will change. Currently, this machine is equipped with 100-gram tension head, which means the maximum yarn tension that we can measure is 100 grams. CTT tension arms are housed in this wood box that is given with the machine. CTT tension arms are arm number 0, arm number 1, and arm number 2. Arm number 0, arm number 1, and arm number 2. This is arm number 0's nut and screw assembly. This is arm number 1's nut and screw assembly. And this is arm 2's nut and screw assembly. When you use the arms, they must be used together. Arm number 0 with its own, 1 with arm number 1, arm number 2 with arm number 2's nut and screw assembly. These are calibrated together, so do not mix them. Each arm has a maximum tension range. Arm number 0 up to 10 grams, arm number 1 up to 100 grams, and arm number 2 is up to 100 grams in this configuration of CTTE because of the tension head limitation of 100 grams. Before you run the D-set, which is elongation program, or the pin friction program, choose your tension arm, which in most cases should be arm number 1. So we put the other arms back inside the box together with their nut and screw assemblies in their separate bins. Now we'll pick up the arm number 1 and its nut and screw assembly, and we will install this on the CTTE machine. To do that, you need to remove this cover first. Now locate this tension arm base, insert the bottom of the arm number 1 to the pin. Make sure it is fully seated. Bring the nut and screw assembly and thread it through the upper hole, which is reserved for arm number 1, and attach it to the springs hook. Attach the arm number 1 nut and screw assembly to the spring hook and make sure the arm is fully seated. There are 4 buttons on top of the CTTE. These buttons are used together with the tension arms. What they do is they actually bring the tension bar to your set tension point by moving the bar left to right. If you would like to do it faster, you have to press these 2 buttons at the same time. To go back, again, you have to press these 2 buttons at the same time. There's a switch here when it goes to 0 on the low end. On the high end, the switch is here. So when we go to the maximum, that is the maximum that it can go. So we'll bring it back to the tension level that we would like to apply when running this yarn. 10 grams of tension. This is arm number 1. And arm number 1 scale is the second one. The first increment on the arm number 1 scale is 10 grams, 20 grams, 30 grams, etc. all the way to 100 grams. Each division is 2 grams. This scale works with the tension arms, which means if you have an arm number 0 up to 10 grams, you need to read from the bottom scale, which is from 0 to maximum 10 grams. When you use arm number 1 up to 100 grams, again it's from 0 to 100 grams. If you have higher capacity CTTE tension heads, then you might be able to use tension arm number 2 and tension arm number 3. And arm number 2, in that case, tension arm will go up to 300 grams and tension arm number 3 will go up to 700 grams. For our elongation test, we will use arm number 1 up to 100 grams, and we will set it to 10 grams of tension.